start the meeting. And hello and welcome to Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council's Healthier Merthyr Tydfil Scrutiny, today Wednesday the 4th of February. Please note that the meeting is being recorded via the authority's internet site. The images and sound recordings may also be used for training purposes. I should have said, Prynawn da, poib, and welcome to the meeting. First of all, do we have any apologies, please?
Yeah, we've got apologies from Councillor Clay Jones and Councillor Louise Minute-Oaks.
Okay, thank you. If we move on then to item number 2, that's declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest?
No.
No declarations of interest. Then we can go on to the item number 3, which is the main item on the agenda this afternoon, and that's the draft revenue budget report, I think, which is going to be introduced by Councillor Anna Williams-Price.
Yes,
Anna?
thank you, Chair. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to present an update on the draft revenue budget for 26-27, and this reflects both progress and ongoing challenges in achieving financial sustainability for Merthyr Tydfil. The report provides an update from our previously reported position to Council in autumn 2025. So firstly, the funding position has improved significantly, with the revised Welsh Government settlement providing a 4.7% uplift, a welcome improvement from the originally proposed 3.1% provisional increase. Secondly, despite this positive settlement, we do continue to face unavoidable cost pressures, and these additional demands total nearly 3.96 million and are detailed in Appendix 4, but they include education pressures, including additional learning needs and transport, waste and recycling obligations and capital financing costs. Thirdly, we have identified cost reductions of approximately 3.58 million to offset these pressures, and these are detailed in Appendix 5. These include grant maximisation in social services, operational efficiencies across education and neighbourhood services also. And while these measures protect frontline services, reliance on temporary solutions do underline the need for continued transformation. As a result, the projected budget deficit for 26-27 has been reduced from 9.005 million to 509,000. This is based on a medium-term financial plan forecast for council tax, which assumes a 5% increase, with every 1% change impacting the budget by approximately £330,000. This update also provides details of the budget consultation work, which sought residents' views on their priority services and also on council tax. The current position demonstrates strong progress while also acknowledging ongoing financial pressures, and our priority remains protecting essential services, supporting education and safeguarding the most vulnerable. The final Welsh Government budget has now been approved, and although there are some changes which, due to the timing, are not reflected in this report, but I can assure that none of those changes significantly alter this update and our current direction of travel. So each committee has had the opportunity to review this report, and I really enjoyed my whistle-stop tour of all the committees. And we'll have a joint scrutiny and governance and audit session on Monday before the special budget meeting on the 23rd of February. So I welcome any input from the committee, which will be considered as we work to set a balanced budget for 26-27. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Anna Williams-Price. Is there anything that the Treasurer would like to add at this stage, please, before we move to questions and comments?
Just to reiterate what the Cabinet member has said, which is this is the last of the scrutiny sessions. The compilation of the comments and observations from each of the scrutiny will be appended to the report on the 23rd of February, which will inform the final decision making through Cabinet and recommended to full Council of that evening.
Thank you, Craig. We'll move now on then to any questions, please, members may have. I know there's a few. Councillor David Hughes.
Yeah. Thank you, Gareth. The 5.09 deficit, you say the direction of travel is obviously down, obviously from the £9 million. Do you think that will come down any further with the final settlement you've had and the grants you've had in Ian?
Thanks. Check him in there. So we're only expecting to see a small change to our final financial settlement from Welsh Government, Councillor Hughes, which is mainly due to confirmation of final council tax-based numbers. So there'll be a limited impact on that 509,000 gap from that updated figure. So the settlement we're receiving is still at 4.7%.
Right. So are we going to meet that deficit? Is it by the 3.3, 330,000 and 1% of the council tax?
Thanks. So I think you can see the results from the budget consultation, which is leaning strongly towards keeping council tax as close as possible to that 5% increase. So we're hoping we'll be able to achieve that, but the council tax recommendation will be available in the final budget report.
Right, so that's in the final budget report, obviously. Right, okay. I got another question.
Okay.
How much of help of the extra money that we had with the budget agreement with another party in the settlement, how much of that given us? The extra money come from the Welsh Government.
So the change of percentage was from 3.1% from the provisional settlement to 4.7% at the final settlement. Do you want the actual figure?
I have the exact figure.
The figure I want, that's what I want. I can see the percentage, the figure I'm asking.
Yeah, I can confirm that offline, Councillor Hughes.
Okay.
Okay, Councillor Hughes?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councillor Ian Thomas.
Thank you, Chair. On the mention of political priorities, I note that the consultation results, the public told us that they want social services to be the top priority. Well, at the moment, I think we regard education as the top priority and try to avoid the education budget having any cuts. Will this survey result in any change in the balance that's given between the services, and will sort of social services be promoted up and not have to face quite so many cuts?
Thanks, Councillor Thomas. So yeah, I mean, it's a balance, isn't it, between our political priorities and obviously the feedback we receive from the public in terms of consultation, which is important. And obviously those are the top two, social services and education. I think that's been the case for the majority of past years. So we've seen consistency in terms of public feedback on that. So our intention is we're not going to ask for any additional savings from the schools budget. But also what we're proposing for social services is savings as listed in the appendices at 5. So we don't expect there to be a huge impact on service based on those proposals that we've set out, and perhaps Lisa would like to explain that.
So most of the savings that social services have found, I think you'll be aware from the budget report that we presented to Scrutiny previously, is from grant maximisation. So we've had various grants, particularly around eliminate profit, which was significant to set up our own children's homes. So moving forward, that's been accounted for in the budget, which is obviously accounted then for some of the savings moving forward. That's just one of the examples where we've maximised some of the grants. We obviously work really closely with preventative services, which is mostly grant funded, and obviously we work closely with the regional partnership where we have the Regional Integrated Fund, which is helping to develop and services, so that has a knock-on effect then to prevention in the future.
Right, thank you very much. One sort of minor question I've got to ask, if it's all right, Chair, to carry on.
Yes, certainly.
Page 7, 512. Regarding the employer's contribution to the pension fund, you say there's a budget saving of 2.53 million being applied because the employer's rate has gone down from 21.8 to 16.4%. I'm assuming that includes arrears. So will it be like an ongoing? Well, there will be, but have you got any idea how much the annual savings is going to be to the budget as a result of the lowering of pension costs?
The savings in the 5.11 is 2.353, and that's recurrent budget savings. So that's changed from our budget assumptions when the outcome of the triennial review hadn't been completed. So that is a recurrent budget saving for the 3 years of this triennial revaluation.
That's for 3 years. Okay, thank you.
Annuals, 2.3 per annum. So it's every year is the 2.3.
Oh, right. Oh, excellent, excellent.
It's per annum.
Right. One other, page 12, 532.2. Now, it is nitpicking a bit, but it's just something that caught my attention. When you give the results of a survey, you ask the public, would they like to maintain services and pay more council tax, or cut services and pay less? Well, the actual top answer was cut services and pay less, but you presented it the other way around. I was just wondering, do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
Page 12?
I think that's just presented, the information is presented in the order the questions were asked, Ian. So,
All right.
not to try and obscure the fact that the majority of residents voted to keep any council tax increase to a minimum. I think we acknowledge and hear that.
Right. Thank you, Anna. The other thing, we never thought to ask them, were they prepared to pay up to the rate of inflation or above it? We've given them a 5% line to start from.
Sorry, Ian, could you clarify the question for me, please?
We give them the question, would you like to pay 5% and possibly cut services, or more than 5% and maintain the services? But there's no mention of the rate of inflation, because 5% is above the rate of inflation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So the reason we use that 5% figure was because obviously that is a current assumption in a medium-term financial plan. So it was important for us to be open with the public about, the current planning assumptions that we hold as a council. I think inflation is a separate question. I know this discussion, going on about this, is the rate of inflation and how that connects to our council's costs are perhaps more nuanced than that. So I'm happy to take on board that feedback, but initially I'm not sure how asking people about the rate of inflation would be helpful to us as a council, because so much of our costs are not connected to the rate of inflation.
Right, okay, thank you, Anna. That's all I got, Chair, thank you. You moved to Gara.
Thank you, Ian. Dave, have you got another question, or is it a legacy hand?
Yeah. No, it's a question to Lisa. Lisa, could you tell me, with the small reduction, and in fairness, it's a small reduction, in what you've given. Is it going to have any effect on any of the services that you run at the moment?
The current budget we've put together for 26-27 doesn't have any impact on the service at all. We've obviously budgeted. We review the budget every year, as you know, having worked with us previously, and the budget changes depending on the demand. So obviously, based on the demand for service that we forecast, then there's no impact at the minute.
Thank you, Lise. Lovely. Thank you.
Any other questions before? Oh, sorry, Craig?
Yeah, can I just go back to Councillor Hughes' earlier question with regards to the cash change from the Welsh Budget Agreement that was asked? You can see in Appendix 1, which was the provisional settlement based on the 3.1%, and Appendix 3, which is then based on the 4.7% increase. And in cash terms, that's just over £2.22 million.
2.2. Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Craig, for clarifying that. Any other questions? Okay, I've got a question. Obviously, Lisa has answered one of my questions regarding explaining the grant maximisation. Lisa, there wasn't any additional demand showing up in here. In Appendix 4?
So they've been built into the budget setting process. So that, I think, has just been offset one against the other.
Right.
So, for example, children looked after, we've said this is what we need for the budget, and that's been accounted for in the whole budget.
Thank you, Lisa. And I've got one further question. It's a general question, not specifically in relation to social services. I can ask it. It's regarding the, is there any update at this stage on the UK or the replacement of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund?
Thanks, Councillor Richards. I know an update was shared, I think, with all councillors last week, and I'm afraid we don't have anything to add further to that. And, at this stage, I think the important thing to be mindful of is I appreciate this is an item of concern, but we do currently have staff who are obviously at risk of redundancy, so we don't have anything further to add to this session today, if that's okay.
Thank you, Anna. I've got no further questions. Any comments of anyone, please? No comments? Will someone please move that we note the report?
Yeah, I'll move.
Okay, someone second? Councillor Hughes, second.
I second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. We now move on to the next item. I don't think there is any more on this agenda. Bear with me a second. I haven't been given any notification of any other business deemed urgent. So I thank everyone for attending this afternoon's meeting, and hope you have a nice evening. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody.